Hello, hello. Welcome to Fireside Chat with Kimberly. Thank you to Rebel Cheese, the sponsor for this week's talks. Prize packs for this month's contest have been graciously donated by Hodo Foods, Follow Your Heart, Cinnaholic, Revolution Gelato, Terra Seed, and Fabulous. I invite my viewers, as always, to enter the monthly contest tab. Monthly contest, jumping ahead there, at virtualvegfest.com. Just click on the contest tab for details. Entering is super easy just by liking and or subscribing to our social media and Virtual Veg Fest YouTube channel. You're entered to win one of these amazing prize packs. So hi, hello, how is everyone? Let me know that you're here. Let me know how your week has been. Do you have any questions? Vegan world, tell me. I do have a topic tonight. I wanted to talk about, and I mentioned it at the end of last week's show. I wanted to talk a little bit about um, animal welfare versus animal rights. Or not really versus. I mean, that comes up that way a lot. Hey, Susan. Yay. Hi. Thank you so much for being here. I was inspired to talk about this, as I mentioned last week, and I attended the Plant Futures Symposium virtually out of UC Berkeley uh, like 2 weeks ago. And Leah Garces was one of the speakers from, she's the president of Mercy for Animals. And she talked a lot about why we shouldn't, as animal rights people, be 100% against animal welfare. And I'll get to that in a second, but I want to explain kind of the definitions of these two words. So, animal welfare, I'll tell you, kind of in my own words first. So, animal welfare is an understanding that animals are sentient, that they do experience pain, they can suffer, and animal welfare proponents want those animals to be taken care of, to not suffer in their life. However, animal welfare proponents typically also believe that animals are here for humans to use, whether it be for entertainment, for food, um, for work. They don't see animals truly as their own being with interests of their own. But they do feel that humans, if they're going to use them, should treat them better or well. Hey, Diane, thanks so much for being here tonight. There's also a definition from the American Veterinary Medical Association that it is, so here's, and I'm going to read this so that I don't miss anything. So, their definition of animal welfare is that it's a human responsibility that encompasses all aspects of animal well being, including proper housing, management. So, that right there is a key as to how they view animals, right? Disease prevention and treatment, humane handling, and when necessary, humane euthanasia. Hmm. So, ultimately, like I said, animal welfare proponents still view animals as being here for us to use as we will, but let's just take care of them. Animal rights is where we understand that animals have an inherent right to be here and that they exist solely for their own purpose and their own interests, not for humans. They are not here for us for any reason at all, not for entertainment, not for work, not for food, not for clothing. Animals deserve the right to live their own lives, to live in all of their pigness and cowness and chickenness and just be able to be themselves, right? And that they shouldn't be here serving humans. So, why would someone like Leah Garces, the president of Mercy for Animals, be talking about animal welfare? And I thought that that was a really good question. And if you have any comments or any thoughts about this, if you think I've missed something you want to add to the definitions I've just shared, please do. So when she first started talking about the idea of animal welfare, I felt a little confused and I didn't know how to take I wasn't sure where she was going with it. And she started talking about that even though and honestly I think this is my belief too, animal rights and the liberation of animals, the removal of the system that tortures animals for human convenience is to be, abolished, removed, shut down. That's the ultimate goal, is that factory farming no longer exists. And ultimately, we stop using animals for anything for humans. That's the ultimate goal, right? I mean, it's mine. That's the world I wish I could live in. That's the world I'd love to see. But as pie in the sky, or I think I'm using that phrase right. People might think that we can be about like imagining this vegan world. Um, we're also realists and we understand where we are. We also can see how far we've come, right? So then the thought is, if that's the long-term goal, how can we help the animals who are suffering now? Yes, of course, we want everything to just end. We want these animals to be free and to live their lives and never have other animals be born and bred into the system. That is not a question here, but we're not there yet. So if we're not there yet, and we know that animals are suffering every single day to be, born and raised to end up on someone's plate, to end up as part of someone's clothing, to end up in captivity and entertain people. If we know that that is still happening and we're not at a point where we can stop it yet, don't we, as animal rights people, don't we have the responsibility to ensure the animals that are suffering, that will never see a way out of this system, don't we have the responsibility to try to make it better for them? Even though we know that the end result is 100% not what we want. It is 100% not in alignment with who we are and how we believe this world should be. But if they change nothing and those animals go through the system anyway, and they will be killed, wouldn't it be nice if they didn't have to suffer during their entire short lives? So that's where the animal welfare part comes in. And Leah, she has a book coming out in May, um, called Grilled. I don't know how I feel about that, but I'm sure that the book, the publishers probably thought like this is a way to really pull people in. It's called Grilled: Turning Adversaries into Allies to Change the Chicken Industry. So I can't help it. I'm so emotional lately, but I'm holding it back. I'm not going to cry this time. I appreciate you breaking me out of that, so we didn't go into one of my tear fests. But so, the chickens are the most abused animals in the system with the least amount of protection. So Leah has had quite a focus on changing the chicken industry. And so if you can work with these corporations that buy factory farm chickens, and if you can work with the companies that run the factory farms, and they're not all always open to that, right? But the ones who are, if these organizations like Mercy for Animals can work with them and get them to either push, so if they're a restaurant ordering chicken parts from a factory farm, if they take a stand and say this is what we expect, this is how these animals should be treated while they are being raised for food. If they can push that and make those changes, then the animals who don't have a way out of the system currently they don't have to suffer as much. I I don't see that they wouldn't suffer at all, and not just because their lives will end and they want to live, but just being, held in these factory farms and surrounded by all the stress and everything is just there's no way that there's not suffering, but we can lessen it. So shouldn't we? I don't know. What do you think? I know some people will say, but if we say just give the chickens more space, just let them outside for an hour a day, just open a window so the ammonia from the urine isn't choking them. If we tell them just do this one thing, just do these little things, won't it tell the factory farms and the farmers and the um, the companies that are buying the animal products, doesn't it tell them that this is enough? And I think it doesn't, or it doesn't have to. That shouldn't be the message. It shouldn't be, okay, please give the chickens a little bit more space. And then we're good and we're not worried and life will go on and everything is fine. I don't think that should be the message. I think the message should be we need to reduce the suffering now with the plan to change how you're operating completely. And I was on Mercy for Animals website. They also have a whole program called Transformation, where they work with investors and food experts and farming experts, and they help people who are farmers of animals who don't want to do that anymore. They help them transition their farm from animals to plants. And that is amazing. And they have people, not every farmer can afford that, so some of them want to stop farming animals, but they don't have a way out. Being a farmer is not necessarily a lucrative business in the US. So if they can't afford it, but they want to make that change, that is something they can work with Mercy for Animals, who has investors who are giving money for that very purpose. And then they have people who understand how to farm plants and how to transition, the empty, dead sections of their farm into soil that can support plants and growing plants. Um, and I think that that is amazing. And I think that we should encourage that. That's my opinion. Everyone is very quiet today. I really thought people were going to have more to say about this because I know that it can feel kind of controversial and it can feel as if we're going against what our true purpose is, which is to stop using animals at all. But we're realistic, right? And we understand where we are. And like I said, we understand also how far we've come. So I don't think that it should make us feel like it isn't enough. I do think, like I said, that it should be stressed that this is not good enough, the humane improvements. It's not the end, it's the short term goal. The long term goal is to get all of these farmers to transition to plants and to get the factory farms shut down and to just create a loving, beautiful world. I don't know. That's what I got. So it's a short one tonight, but yep, that covers it. Those are all my notes. Thank you, as always, for being here. I am so, so honored to do this work. Yep. Thank you, Susan, for sure. It is complicated, but yeah, we need to change. So let's do it. Let's make some changes. Let's talk to people and tell them what we should be doing um, as a people. There's a lot of systems in this country for sure that are set up to help a selected few, and to oppress many others. And the food industry is no different. So with that, I just want to point out that this morning, my latest podcast episode, "Did You Bring the Hummus?" went live, and it is with our lovely Helene Greenberg. She is the guest, the lady who gives us this gives me this platform and gives us the opportunity to interact and have these conversations. So check it out. I really enjoyed it. I had a wonderful time talking with Helene. And I think that you'll like it too. You can find it on all of the major podcast platforms, as well as my website, which is didyouBringTheHummus.com. Susan, is this Climate Healers? This is a documentary, right? I think. Just let me know. I think so. Um, but I'll check that out for sure. Thank you. All right. Well, thank you all for being here. Check out the podcast. Oh, they're an organization. Okay. Climate Healers is an organization. Thank you, Susan. Let me see if we can. All right. So check out the podcast and check out Climate Healers and come back next week for another talk. And as always, I'm here for you. So if you have questions, if there is a topic that you want me to talk about, or a question that you don't want to post in the comments when I'm live, just send it to me. You can reach me at Did You Bring the Hummus on either Instagram or Facebook. You can also visit the virtual Veg Fest Live Fireside chat site, and you can click the button, send me a message, and you can send me a message there and let me know what you'd like to hear or how I can help you. Have an amazing, amazing week. I love you all so much. I will see you next Monday. Bye.